Today I'm going to be showing you guys what car dealerships should look like in Grand Theft Auto Online. So I'm sure there's a fair number of you guys that have not played some of the older Grand Theft Auto games like Vice City, San Andreas, and GTA 4. But one of the best parts about those games was having random car dealerships or auto dealerships that you could go inside and just steal cars. We're going to be talking about that in this video, but also some greater purposes they could serve for Grand Theft Auto Online. So some of the most iconic places in Grand Theft Auto Vice City, you have Sunshine Autos, that you could actually go inside, you could steal vehicles from, you could actually own it as a business. Really cool location. If we go to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Autos, I know that sounds weird to say. This was a car dealership. It had multiple stories. A lot of the vehicles inside were the ZR350, the Infernus, the Turismo, all of these vehicles you could take out and steal. It was so cool. Let's flash forward to Grand Theft Auto 5. You had the Grotti showroom in downtown Times Square where you could literally steal Grotti cars like Turismos straight from the dealership. It had cars perched up on podiums. I mean, it was a really cool look. Also in Grand Theft Auto 4, you had Auto Eroticar, which is another car dealership where cars would be scattered outside, like the Presidente, the Turismo, the Feltzer, the Banshee, the Intruder. All these vehicles could be seen outside and you could go up there and take them whenever you wanted. There was also a West Dyke auto shop that primarily featured bikes, so you could go inside and literally just take out like a bike or a car. I mean, it was so cool to be able to go inside these car dealerships, and that's one thing that's really missing from GTA 5. Now, technically, there are a handful of car dealerships in GTA 5, whether it's Larry's RV Sales up in Sandy Shores or whether it's Premium Deluxe Motorsports, but none of them really have the same vibe and feel like they did in the older Grand Theft Auto games. So today, I'm going to be showing you guys what car dealerships should look like in GTA 5 and how they should work in Grand Theft Auto Online. So I've installed this mod today, and it's really awesome. This one's located kind of on Vespucci Beach. Now, I don't think the location here is indicative of where it would be in real life, like if Rockstar were to add this in-game, but it's probably just the biggest, most open space that this person who created the mod could find. So ignore the location. What we're going to be talking about today is what's sort of on the inside here. So first things first, you guys can see that this place is absolutely massive, and it's like a normal car dealership in real life. You enter, and it has sort of this staging area where you might be greeted by someone at reception that has some maybe car accessories out on display. In this case, it's doors and it's engines and it's different types of wheels that you can see and bumper options that if you actually were taking your vehicle here, this is something you might consider upgrading. Now, if we go a little bit further in the back, you can see there's sort of a workshop area too that features more larger parts of cars like full front ends, bumpers, workstations where mechanics might end up repairing vehicles and whatnot. And because I'm in single player, obviously no one is here, but imagine if this place was dynamic, if there were mechanics hanging out and fixing cars and driving them in and out. That would seriously be so cool. Moving on to the next area is sort of the main show floor, and this would be cool to see a lot of vehicles hanging out here. So it would kind of depend on the type of car dealership it was. If it was like a all variety dealership, you might see supercars and sports cars. If it was one specific brand, you might only see that type of car like the Grotti dealership in Liberty City and Grand Theft Auto 4. But you can see here there are a ton of different bays though. They're labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so much more. And this is where cars could be stored. I have just brought the one vehicle here, but you could obviously store as many as you wanted to. And there could be a lot of different cars here, which would be so cool. Now, just like in previous GTA games, I'm assuming a lot of people would just use this car dealership as a place to steal vehicles and drive them around, which is totally cool and totally acceptable in the Grand Theft Auto universe, but I think there could be a lot of other really cool purposes to go along with it, which we're going to talk about as we go. So as we continue on with our tour here, we're going to see a lot of other different locations, like a giant area where they would do painting for the car, I'm guessing retouches and stuff like that. It has like this own separated garage door area, which is kind of cool. And again, it would be nice if this area was dynamic, like you saw cars getting painted and whatnot. That would actually be super cool. But because this is a mod, we're just going to have to use our imagination here, but that's okay. Moving up to the second story of the car dealership, and a lot of the ones seen in Vice City and GTA 4 are multi-story as well, so it wouldn't be a shocker if this is something that was 2 stories. You can see that there are some exclusive cars that are hidden underneath these tarps. I'm not sure what they are. I think I could make out one of them, which was a Z-type, but I'm not sure about the other 2. If you guys know what all 3 of those hidden cars are under those blue tarps, let me know in the comments down below, but I was only really able to identify one of them, I think. And the upstairs part of this place is definitely a little bit more corporate. It's where we're going to find a ton of offices. It's also where we're going to find a bunch of like big conference rooms where maybe employees or stuff could have meetings. Another thing I think is kind of unique, and this is sort of diving into the first part of where I think this could work for Grand Theft Auto Online. There looks to be like a living quarters here. So you guys can see I have just entered this like private off section where there's sort of like an overseer's lair of the entire place. There's an office, there's a workstation, there's a bed, there's mini games and whatnot. And let's say you owned a car dealership as a business. Maybe this is an area in which you could spawn in, and maybe not necessarily function like an apartment where you live, but maybe something like a bunker or a CEO office where it has a little bit of a living quarter, but for the most part, it's all attached to the business. That would be really cool. There's like a server area. There's a bunch of computers. It oversees really the entire area, which is super unique. As we leave that, there's more offices, like I said, for the employees and whatnot to make it look a little bit more realistic, like a car dealership itself. However, let's talk about the practical purpose and application for this in Grand Theft Auto Online, because I think car dealerships like this would look and would work absolutely perfect. So what's the big problem when buying vehicles in Grand Theft Auto Online? There's really no way to test them, and they all have exorbitant prices. So here's how I'm thinking the car dealership would work. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to just waltz in and steal cars. That would defeat the purpose of Rockstar's business model for online. But what could work is if you went to a car dealership, you'd have the ability to test drive a vehicle. They would give you a stock vehicle that you could test drive. And then I'm thinking 1 or 2 scenarios could happen. Number 1, Rockstar would give you a timer where you could just drive it around Los Santos for maybe 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, depending on however long that would be set to. That would give you enough time to drive the vehicle, get up to various speeds, do different things with it, and then it would automatically be returned to the car dealership. And then you could make the decision if you didn't want to buy it or you did want to buy it. You wouldn't be able to own it, but you would just be able to do like a test drive, get a little bit of a feel for it. Or number 2, if you wanted to do an alternative test drive, it would sort of take you to this sandbox lobby where you would be on a racetrack separated from everyone else in Los Santos. You'd be able to drive it around, get a feel for the vehicle, etc. In my opinion, this would be incredibly useful because as it stands right now, a lot of the vehicles, in fact, all the new vehicles that Rockstar add to online, they aren't added to single player. So there's no way to get a test for the vehicles before you actually buy them. The only way in which you could do something like that is if you had single player mods on PC. I know not everyone plays on PC, or you rely on watching YouTube videos or something like that. But that still doesn't give you a hands-on way to kind of get a feel for the cars. So that's how I could totally see this being a very practical use in online, being able to test vehicles before you actually pull the trigger so you can make smarter decisions on if you want to actually buy a vehicle or not. So again, I think this would be awesome. Now, this place looks awesome at night as well. There's a lot of lights in this place. Obviously, since we're on the beach, we're getting that beautiful sunset. And that's another thing that's really awesome about this car dealership is it just overall looks amazing. It's really well done. And the design in here would just be perfect for the GTA series. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about car dealerships in GTA 5. And how would they work in Grand Theft Auto Online as well? Is this something you would like to see? Or do you think it's a good thing that Rockstar has not included this in the game, unlike what they did in Vice City, San Andreas, Liberty City, GTA 4, and more? So let me know your thoughts, opinions more in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you did go on to enjoy the video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care. And I'll see you guys in the next video.